When people think of legacy for the Muskegon Museum of Art and people who've donated major gifts that make us who we are, and Charles Hackley comes to mind. I mean, he left the gift in 1905 to us. But you look at the Walker family gifts, Elsie and Margaret Walker, then afterwards Shaw and Betty Walker. We can really put a full century of museum-defining legacy on this. Elsie Walker joined the Muskegon Public School Board, which oversaw the Art Museum in 1917. And he also was on the Arts and Library Committee, which governed the museum basically. And then in the 1940s, he started doing major art gifts in those prints.
Certainly the Walker legacy is important for what it brought to us for the artwork. I mean, these are incredible artistic treasures that have really expanded the kinds of voices that we're able to bring to our audiences, the ideas, the different moments in time that help people find, something that they connect with.
They've contributed 262 pieces to the collection. As of last count, it keeps growing. And that's part of the core collection. It's the stuff people recognize. It's a lot of the iconic pieces. It's the stuff that other art museums want to borrow from around the world.
They're the audience favorites. They're the ones that tour and travel internationally. And they are the works that have really allowed us to look not just back to the rich legacy of art history, but also have allowed us to find some contemporary voices that look towards the future, and we hope one day will be those treasured objects of the past. The gifts began in the 1940s, and that started with printmaking. So a few early European prints, and then very quickly prints that we now see as seminal names in the movement. Albrecht Dürer, Rembrandt, Francisco Goya, and today those prints are treasured masterpieces. They are world recognized and incredibly valuable, and to have that depth and wealth becomes the defining core of our collection. In the 1970s, they began to bring in paintings. So our painting Camille Pissarro and Pierre Bonnard not only are always up in our own collections, but when they are not, they're often traveling the world. And so both have appeared in Europe in important exhibitions about the lives of the artists.
In the early 80s, when we needed to expand, it was the Walker Foundation that stepped up and planted that money to enable us to build the entire Walker wing. And that changed everything. We could do temporary exhibitions, we could do more exhibitions, we could establish an education department.
We've been able to organize our own exhibitions and travel them around the country. We were able to mount the entire Edward Curtis, which brought tens of thousands of people through to the museum over a summer. This, in the 1980s, seemed like a modest expansion, but look what came from it. What might the next gift make possible? Things that maybe never were dreamed of even at the time that gift was being made have now transformed the community. The Walker legacy really is one of this incredible art, but also this incredible facility that gives us room to show all this art, to have these incredibly dynamic programs in a way that it rivals the original bequest of Charles Hackley.
That gift giving has continued for 80 years since then, and to this day, the Walker family still contribute to major acquisitions at this art museum. And because of the generosity of the Walkers, we've expanded our capacity tremendously through the past 40 years, just on the programming community side alone. And now we want to keep moving, so we're working on a project to expand the museum and to continue that legacy that so many people have contributed to over the years. But we would not be where we are or what we are and known around the world as this world-famous small-town art museum if it wasn't for the Walker family.